Hello. We're back. Working on same thing as last time, but I've got things figured out a bit more this time, so yeah, I thought I should probably show everybody now that I've made a few discoveries. So yeah, I'm gonna make the same thing that we made on the last stream. Let's just get rid of these bits. Don't know why they're there. So this is what I made on the last stream, but the problem is you can't just like make a template of this. Because all the different angled structures have to have a connection to the ground, which looks something like this. So yeah, I'm gonna build this basically. And share a few discoveries that I've made along the way. Because when I made this version of it, it was very messy. I've learned a lot since then. Is this dodecasphere? It's the same one I was doing last time. What's it called? Truncated ice dodecahedron or whatever it is. Welcome, JJAVS. Hello. So yeah, I've just deleted all my local templates. I had like loads of them, so I got rid of them all. Thought I'd start fresh. This doesn't need to be here. So yeah, let's get started then. Evening, Paul. It goes well. Yeah, can't complain. Yeah, let's find somewhere to start building then. I should probably do it close to this over here because I might need to look at this as a reference later on. So let's start building like over here. Right. First things first, we need to get our upside down structures. So we'll go for same thing that we did last time, which was 2 pillars like that, and then flip one upside down. So select that, make that the snap override. Save this as upside down. Is that 2 words, upside down? Upside down. I don't know if that's 1 word or 2 words. I need to look this up. Upside down. It's 2 words, isn't it? Yeah, I thought it was. Upside down pillar. Right. So we've got that. And then if we go to that and then export that, why not try next to a cliff or hill? Just because I don't think I need to. Was it you who left the comment on the other stream? I think I forgot to reply to the last one. Right. So if we paste this now, if I make a note and then paste this in, if you want it around for the last stream, then you can edit this. So I can't remember what number it is now. Is it 20.905? Is that right? Let me just check. Where did I write that now? 20.905, yeah. So we'll change this to 20. Oh no, we haven't got to that, but yeah, what am I on about? We're doing the 180 at the moment, aren't we? We're turning it upside down. I'm jumping ahead. Yes, it was. And no, you did not reply. Yeah, sorry. I replied to the first one and then I saw the second one, but I forgot to reply. Yeah. I just don't think there's any need to do it. I mean, it would work, but what I've figured out means that it's just not really necessary. But it could be done. Anyway, so flip that 180 degrees, that pillar, select all that, copy, and then we go back onto this, import, override that, and now we should have an upside down pillar. It's hard to tell with that, but if we get like we've got foundation, oh, that's not upside down. Why is that not upside down? Is that one upside down? Neither of them are upside down. Why is that not worked? That's strange. Let me just check this. Paste that. It's got 180 degrees in there. Weird. Do I have to do this one instead, maybe? Try that. Import. Place. Unless it was because I'd already selected it and then I imported. It's working anyway with that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's working. So that's our upside down structure sorted. So I think I'll place that a bit higher though. So let's place that again. Upside down pillar place. Yeah, we'll do it a bit higher. And we'll go like that. So that's our starting point. Welcome, Christy Jan. Is that Christy Jan or is that just Christian? Never seen a J like that. Anyway. So that's our starting point. So what we need now is our angled thing. So I was overcomplicating this before. It turns out it's actually quite simple. What is the reason behind needing an upside down pillar? Because this thing is... I'll show you on this one over here. Because these structures up at the top, these are the right way around. And then it goes upside down here. I could have done it the other way around. This could have been the right way around and then it could have gone upside down up here. And I was going to do that, but I couldn't figure it out last time. I've figured it out since then. But I'm just going to make it the same as what this was. So I'm going to start upside down again. And go the right way around up here. Because I think it can be confusing doing it the other way around as well, because then you have to flip the texture of these to be the other way around. Well, if you want the texture that way around, you could have the bumpy side on the outside if you wanted, I suppose. But anyway, that's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to start with it upside down and go the right way around on top. So this is my starting point in the middle. Oh, it's like Christian, right? Where's that spelling from? Is that like Spanish or something? So this is where we need our angle now. Let's do same thing again. We'll start with 2 pillars. Like that. And we'll select those. We'll set that as the snap override. Save this as and 20.905 angle thing. Hello, Rebel, welcome. Hello, Marius. Right, so we'll get this. We'll export that. We'll make another note, paste that, and then this one we're going to set to 20.905, which is the very specific angle that we need. And then select all that, copy, select template, import. Yeah, that's not got the right angle, is it? Is it just because I need to select that again? No. Why is it not working? That's weird. Or is it? Is it working? Oh, it is working. Oh, yeah, angled that way, yeah. I just couldn't tell from the way I was looking at it. Anyway, yeah, that's fine. So let's just stick this kind of out of the way a little bit. We'll put it over here. So that can just go like that. Don't need the other structure. That was just... you just need that, I think, to be able to get this one that way around. Otherwise it does weird things. You need both pillars, I think. I'll have to check up on that. So, now that we've got this, we're going to make this thatch. So we're going to go up from here. We'll get some foundations down at the bottom, and we'll get rid of this pillar down here, actually. Get some foundations running this way. Hopefully that's enough. So I've done 1, 2, 3, let's go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29. That's probably about. Let's do 2 more. 32. I should have stopped at halfway, actually. Now I'm going to have to count them again now. Amazed at your dedication to this game. Thank you. In fact, it's going to be easier to just redo that and stop halfway because I'm going to have to count them anyway. It's easier to count them as you're placing them. Let's do 16. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It doesn't have to be an exact number, but I think that's like roundabout what I'm after. And then I'm going to put a thin beam there. And then another 16, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you'll see what I'm doing in a minute. It's one of those situations where it's easier to show you than explain at the moment. So this is going to be our tool for changing the angle. But when you're placing structures at a different angle, you've got to have a connection into the ground. Like if I was to just create a blueprint template of just this one structure on its own, I'll show you what happens. Snap overrides, save that. What did I call it before? 20 angle. Is it angle thing? I can't remember now. I think that was it. Yeah. Right, so if I try to place this now, so you'll see that's at a different angle. It's kind of like at that 20.905 degrees angle. If I place that, then it goes at the same angle as this. So that's not what we want. What I've discovered that's interesting is that, because I was a bit confused, because sometimes it'll place like that. It'll match the angle of this structure. Other times it just won't allow you to place it. And I couldn't figure out why that was, but I've figured it out now. And it's because of the orientation of the beam. Just thinking how I can demonstrate this. If we do, let's do thin beams. That will allow us to demonstrate, I think. I mean, not thin beams, half thin beams. So if I go like that and like that, maybe let me just check something. No, not like that. Like that. Yeah. So these two thin half beams are actually the opposite way around, as you can see from when I'm placing these walls on. One of the walls is flipped, and that's because the beam is actually the other way around and you don't even realize it because it looks the same, like you can't tell to look at it. But yeah, by placing that wall you can see that it's actually a different way around. So what we'll do is we'll create a template from that now to demonstrate that. Select both of those and let's just save that. Yeah, I'm not sure if I need to do any snap overrides or anything. let's see what we can do with this now. So if I place this here. So this one, you see, can't place it because it's the opposite way to what would be placeable on this ceiling. But the other one, even though it's not exactly the same angle, it must like see it as being close enough or something. I've not really looked into the numbers behind what's happening here, but anyway, it works, but it does match that angle. So yeah, that's a bit of weirdness that I've discovered. That's good to know. What are we saying in the chat, Marius? Oh yeah, I watched his stuff years ago when I was playing official PvP. I dropped this game a long time ago for my mental health, but I always come back to see what Cap is doing. You showed me how to raise foundations and build traps for my solo adventures. Oh, well, thank you for sticking around even though you're not playing anymore. It can kind of suck up your life a bit, can't it? Remember turning ceilings gradually on ASE? Yeah. The hidden base on my PvP with Ras is legendary. Thank you. Right, so that's my beam. The way I'm gonna do it, I think, is I'm gonna put that there and use a railing as the snap override. I think that's the right way around that I've done it. So select this, set that as the snap override. Oh, there's something else I want to show you as well, actually. Let's just remove the majority of these foundations. Can I place a structure? No, I can't. Right, we'll add that one. So if you make a template and you've got a foundation on it, we save that, and then we use this, you'll see that the center point is acting a bit weird, is that? But yeah, the center point, when I'm looking at the horizon, it's like at the foundation, and that's not good, because if we try to place this, you're going to get that message, can't place structure template out of range, and that's because the center point of the template is at the foundation. It uses that. But if we were to do this without a foundation in the template, then hang on, so set that as the snap and remove all these foundations this time. Save that. Then what you'll notice is that now the center point of this template is at that beam and railing, which is good. That's why we've got the same amount of pillars underneath it as above it, because that means that the center point's going to be exactly there, which makes it a lot easier for building what I'm building, because I'm normally going to be like close to this point because that's the snap point. So that comes in handy. So now we can place that and place that, and that's at the angle we want. And then I'm not using the auto build because I don't need all that stuff. I only need like certain bits of it. Complete that, and then once that's placed, we can get rid of that. Don't need that. That's just what you need to place it initially. And then you can get your ceiling on there. Like that. I also quit playing Ark years ago, but will always make time to watch a Captain Fat Dog video, thank you. Is this modded, or are these new structures I don't recognise? There's no mods going on. Which structures do you not recognise? There have been some new structures in the last few months or something. I think it was only the thatch structures that got added actually. Yeah, they have added a few since ASA came out. Hey, Kvaiden! How's it going, mate? What kind of witchcraft are you up to now? So, on the last stream I built this. With all these fancy angles using the template tool. And now I'm going to build it again, but in a way that the whole thing can be a template. I've done this like in my spare time because each of these angles has to have a connection to the ground for it to be a template, a fully functional template on its own. So this is what we're going to end up with today. So yeah, just taking it one step at a time, explaining a few discoveries I've made. Yeah, that's the first bit. Another thing that I realised shortly after I built that original one was that I actually only need to build a third of it, which is this, and then you can copy that around 2 more times and that makes a full thing. So my first goal here is to build this. So at the moment we've just got this one ceiling, so the next bit place is this hexagon here. So we'll do that, and I will have to modify this a little bit, this template, but we'll just do it as we're going along. So next one, select that, so this goes on here, place that, place that, place that, that's done. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Once this is placed, that's like supported by this, like turn on debug structures. You can see that's connected in the yellow right in there. It's connected to the ceiling. It's just that the way that the template tool works, things have got to be like snappable, and since this isn't snappable to the ceiling, it won't place. It's connected now that it's there, but it's not like an existing snap point. You know what I mean? Bit weird, but yeah, that's how it works. Took a little bit to get my head around it all, but yeah. Didn't recognise the railing half squares. Oh yeah, yeah. They added the half railing quite recently. The quarter walls have been in a while, but yeah, the half railings are new. Well, fairly new, yeah. You mad lad. Those are new to us, so yeah. He is a wizard. I had a feeling it may have been able to be divided. Yeah, I didn't think about that on the day. But I wouldn't have been able to do it that day I was building that one anyway, because it needs, to be able to do that, you need all these support, which took a lot of fiddling around. Like, that's taken me a few days to figure out how to do that. There's still room for improvement with these supports, but well, scaffolding we'll call it, but it's it's not bad compared to like what I was trying to do originally. That's fairly neat, believe it or not, is that scaffolding. It's harder than you'd think to get neat scaffolding. Hey, Dover Rex, how are you doing? Been a long time. What madness brought this build on? I've wanted to build this for years, and it was just going to be too complicated to build it. So it wasn't until we got these templates in ASA that I realised it was going to be quite possible now. So yeah, went for it. Haven't touched the templates yet, but I take it you can do some fun things with it. Yeah, definitely. It's opened up a lot of possibilities, and I don't think people have quite realised the possibilities that it's opened up yet. It's pretty mad what you can do. Played ASA when it came out, but not since more than... Ah, right, yeah, that's why you won't have seen any of this stuff then, yeah. It's been a while, Captain. How have you been? I've been good, yeah. Good, thank you. How have you been? Have you been playing Ark at all? So that's the next one, and then same thing here. So that, and that. And get rid of those. We could leave these pillars as the scaffolding, but the thing is, once you get beyond like this point, they become very steep and go like way out in the distance, and that means that when you place this, you'd need like a massive bit of flat ground like this kind of area, which you don't want. So I tried to get the scaffolding as close in as possible so that you only need like a small flat area. So yeah, I'm just going to get rid of that that scaffolding for now and then redo it. Right, we need that on there, and then same thing on this side. Like that. Get rid of them because it's trying to snap to that. It's a bit annoying. And then complete. Ooh, a bit fast. Place that there. That is right, isn't it? Yeah, so I'll do 2 more hexagons off those and then square off one of the hexagons. Have been and really enjoying official. Oh. What, PvE or PvP? Truncated ice sausage diet. The troll. Right, same thing again then. So that on there. So yeah, we're getting quite horizontal with these now. It'll get to a point where it's completely horizontal, and then we're going to have to modify our template a little bit. Is it not giving me? Why is it not giving me that? That's weird. That should work. Oh, is it because there's no foundation support under that? So what we need is, all we need is this here, I believe. Thin pillar there, which is what I ended up with for the foundation support. If we zoom over here, I found that just those 3 pillars in those positions were enough to support this all the way out. So in theory, that should be enough. Support this and allow me to place this. Yeah, that's now placeable. So we can get rid of those and get our hexagon on there. And then same thing on the other side. PvE only. I don't have time to dedicate to PvP. Have a look at my my latest video if you've not seen it. Me and Ross Clark, we played on PvP without spending too much time. Like, we were only playing like every other day for a few hours. You might enjoy that. Same thing here then, this going up to here. And get rid of that. And that on there. And then we need one coming off here now. That angle, yeah. That is like that. And it's something that I mentioned in the last stream, but I'll mention it again. The pillars, they don't, when you're placing those, they don't require foundation support, so that's why I've got like no foundation support under here, and yet they're still placeable. But when I pick this one up, you'll notice that more than just this one disappears, and that's because they didn't actually have foundation support. They were placeable because it doesn't check for foundation support when placing pillars, because normally they're going upwards, and why would it need to check? But because we're building horizontally, it still doesn't check, but then once you pick something up, it does check. That video was amazing. The intro was one of the best I've seen. Thank you. Yeah, it took a long time to make that video, though. I don't think I'll ever be doing one as long as that again. I would like to do some more PvP. Thanks, Rebel. Right, what's next then? So, both of them have a square on each side, and both of them have a hexagon above that, and then a square in the middle, and then a square on top of each of those. That'll do for now, for me to remember. So, this is where it gets interesting, because this is like completely horizontal now on each of these. I'll put that there and have a good look. That's completely horizontal, which means that neither end is touching the ground. This is where we need to modify our template a little bit. So I think what we need to do is go get a beam, and we'll go like, I'm not sure how many. Is there any way we could find out? Yeah, we could find out by, if we go like this. Let's raise that right up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, let's go like 4. Gives us a rough idea of how many we need to go this way. And then we'll do like, let's do 2 or 3 of those on the safe side. and then pillars down from those, because we don't know exactly where it's going to hit the floor. It depends on the terrain a little bit. So I think that should be like on the safe side, something like that. Hopefully, if I've done this right. So now we'll update that template, set that as the snap override, and remove these foundations. Let's see what this does. Ooh, maybe should have done that a little bit higher up there. We'll get away with it. So that's our pillar. These are the beams. And then that can go on there. Let's try this one as well while we're at it. Place that one now. I can place that one though. So that's why we do a couple of these, because it sometimes works out a little bit different. In this case, it's because this side of it's a bit higher than that side. And the terrain's probably a little bit different as well. So that's that one done. And then pick these up. And place those. Leave it to Captain to push the building system to its limits. Yeah, I like this stuff. I see it as like teamwork. Like I do this kind of stuff, but then people will use what I discover to make even cooler stuff. And then they inspire me to do things, so it's a bit of teamwork between the arc builders, I'd say. So next, we need one on here. And I could go from this side over here. I could also possibly go, yeah, I could go from here as well. So I might as well do that because it's shorter distance. So that's why I did those couple of extra ones, because I thought that might come in handy. Do it on this side, yeah. Oh, from that one even. So that can go on there. And then get our hexagons on those, pick these up. Guess I need to go watch your last stream because I'm so confused as to how you got these. No, don't watch my last stream. My last stream will confuse you more because I was confused because it was all new to me. Like, this is on the last stream, that was like pretty much the first time I'd started fiddling with this stuff. Now I've actually fiddled around with it in my own time and I understand this stuff. So if you've got questions, just ask them now. And I'll explain better, because the last stream definitely won't explain it for you. Yeah, you're probably better off watching the start of this stream to understand how I got those initial angles. But basically, all I've done is I've angled these structures here and made a template with them. And the way that I've angled the structures is with this template thing. You've got import and export. So what you can do is you can export this and then you can use like Notepad on your PC, or you can use a note in game and then paste that, and then you can like modify these angles and stuff, which is a bit cheaty, but it's a thing. So yeah, I modified this angle. This was 0 before, so I just modified that to be what I wanted. And there you go. Yeah, that's how it works. But yeah, I explained it a bit more at the start of this stream. Been meaning to see if you've made a new rock elemental trap. That's what brought me here today. I haven't, or have I? Yes, I have. I might have done, and I've just not made a video on it. I can't remember now. I think I did make one. In fact, I think I made two. I think I made one, and then I made a mobile one on a cart, and I hadn't made videos of it. But I might want to relook at it and maybe come up with a different design now. I don't know. I need to get back to the traps. Yeah, it's pretty mad what you can do with this, Quiden. Pretty mad. Love geometry and your work. It's great to witness this. Thanks, Crazy Wolf. So you can just type in an exact angle. Yep. Yeah, it's as easy as that. Just typing in angles. You can change the positions of structures. Everything, like all the data for the structures is there. So like in theory, if you knew what you were doing, you could create a whole template in Notepad, which somebody has done. Frayne, I don't know if you've seen his channel. He made a little boat out of pillars in Notepad. So yeah, it's pretty crazy what you can do. Oh, here he is. Speak of the devil. Wait, swear you wait for me to go out every time. I was in two minds about whether I was even going to stream today. I was, and then I wasn't because I thought it was getting too late. And then I thought, no, I will do because I know what I'm doing now. It's not going to take forever to do this stream. I'll go for it. Can set exact angles for roll pitch and yeah. Guess I gotta stop modding and fiddle around with building some more. What have you been doing the same mod, have you? I've not had a look. Have you been doing updates on it and stuff? Literally just got back from the pub and saw a stream. Yeah, I remembered to message you today, friend. Alright, let's get back to building then. So let's see, which one should we go for? Let's go for this one because the pillars are on that side of it and the lower down, which means it's not going to go as far horizontally. Hopefully this goes far enough. Yeah. Just out of interest, how much further does that go? Ooh, it doesn't go much further. I made it just long enough. Right. So all the way up to there. Made a couple of different creature mods and working on the new big one. I'll have to have a look. Yeah, I've not seen those. I need to check out what you've been up to. Mostly just been learning how UE5 works. Yeah, it's tricky to do modding and game stuff, video stuff, whatever, YouTube at the same time. It's like one or the other. That's what I've found. So that can go on there, and then we'll just place this one manually on there. And then can pick those up. Oh, that one's connected to the ground as well. Right, we're getting there. And then we need another one on each of those, another square coming out from each of those, so that on there. Same thing, so now we're going from this side. Whereas before, when we were underneath, we were building the pillars off this side. Now we're building off this side, now that the angle is pointing that way. So, yeah, in the last stream I was saying, I wonder if there's like a template that you could make that works for like every angle, and this is it. This is what I've come up with. A big line this way, a big line this way, and then a little line with a few pillars poking out of it for the ones that are completely horizontal. And that does the job. That gives you everything you need. Got to head out. Hopefully it won't be as long for me to pop in again. Alright, see you later. Thanks for stopping by, and yeah, hopefully we'll this won't be the last time for a while. Alright, so that on there, and then same thing on this side. Like that. Yeah, I'm building it again, but I actually know what I'm doing now, and we're going to make the whole thing a template, which is what I've done over here. But I did this in my own spare time, so you guys have not seen it, how to do it yet. But this is what we're going to end up with. So I'm building, at the moment, friend, I'm building a third of it, because then I can copy that round to the different angles, because it repeats. So now, so I've done up to there, so now I just need this last bit. So a hexagon, a square, and a hexagon for the top. But there's a few extra steps that we've got to do, which are a bit fiddly to get the template to work. I'll demonstrate that when we get to that bit. So that goes on there. Just arrived. What the fat dog is happening? Welcome, Michael. We're building this. I don't know if you were around on the last stream, but built this one over here last stream. And now we're building it again, but faster, because I now know what I'm doing, and we're going to try and make the whole thing a template, which is what you need all these bits of scaffolding to make it a template. So that's what we're working on. Right, next one. In fact, no, not next one. I haven't got that far yet because I need to put hexagon on there now. And then now we can do the next one on here. Not gonna let me place that. Ooh. So with pillars, if they get in just a certain place, they won't actually place. It's like you've got, that's the highest it can go. And then that's like the lowest. Let me think what I'm trying to explain here. Hang on. Oops. Oh, wrong one. Didn't mean to replace that. So anything in between those two heights isn't placeable because it's just not got enough on the ground. Like ignore that that bit of thatch pillar there. If it's any lower than this, down to this height, it won't place. But then if it's below that height, then it's fine. But yeah, there's just a certain part in between where it won't place, and that's what I'm dealing with here. So we need to figure out a way around that, and I do know a couple of solutions. We can modify this. So like one solution would be to have another line of things, except we start with a half pillar. So all these are offset by a half. That's one solution. If I didn't want to modify that, let me just see if there's another way we could do this. Another way we could do it is if the ground is slightly different over here, then we could, what we could do is we could build this way and then place our structures off this. We'd have to get some foundation support running that way. We were going to do that. I'll do it just for the sake of demonstrating what I mean. Do something like this, because I think the ground is slightly different height over here. Maybe. Maybe not. Is it the same? Looks very similar, doesn't it? It's slightly lower. It's the ground slightly lower over here. Let's see if we can do something with this then. See if we have any joy. I place that there. Is that going to allow me? Yeah, so there we go. So because the ground's slightly lower, it's going to allow me to place that. Like that. And then get rid of that. And now we need to get that over here. Have I done that right? That doesn't look... No, that's not right. It's done that thing. I need to redo that again. It's angled. It snapped that to the ceiling because it saw that there was a ceiling to snap to there. It's snapped to that. So what I need to do instead is go like this and then get rid of that there and then do it off there, and then it won't snap to that. Swear I'll finish my disco ball soon, I promise. Have you decided what you're doing with it yet? Is it actually 20.905 degrees? Yeah, because I typed that in. That's just the specific angle that you need in order to make this shape work. I didn't calculate that myself. I just looked it up. I asked AI what angle it's supposed to be, and it told me. So, right, that's placed correctly this time. Last time it had angled to the same as the ceilings, but this time you'll see it's angled how I want it. So now if I pick those up, then we need to get that beam. Let's do chunky ones and it's easier to see what I'm doing. In fact, I could go that way. That'd make it easier to place these without them colliding with the ceiling snap points. Let's go another one even, and it'll be even easier. Where we go in here. So down to there, and then switch to the thin one and snap to that. Is that the right snap point? I have to tell from that angle. That's the one, isn't it? Yeah, that's the one. And you can get rid of that. And there you go. That's one way to work around that problem. But probably the better solution is to do this template with this half offset thing in the first place. But I didn't, so just thought I'd demonstrate another way to work around that problem. Ooh, a bit too fast. Not fully building the outside was fun, but I'm not good at the inner part. I just don't bother with the inner part on things. I just build things like this and then give them to other people to play with and make nice things out of them. Oh yeah, Arc did modify the number a little bit. You're right, Rebel. Yeah, I noticed that. It does that for some reason. Don't know why. That was awesome. Right, so now we've got that, we can place our ceiling on there. And then we're on to the last one, which is the top part. So that on there, hopefully this is going to place. We've got the same problem again. Well, shall we do it the other way this time? The way I should have done it, to demonstrate that in as well. Might as well, aren't we? So, let's... We don't need it going this way because I've already done all the ones in that direction, but I'll place it anyway just so I've got this if I want to do it in future. You never know, it might come in handy. This is how I probably should have done template. Oops. Something like that. Complete. Select that. Snap override. And remove the foundations. Now, hopefully, if we place this on here, we've got these two options. And is that right? I thought, hang on. Thought, yeah, it was there before where it wasn't working, wasn't it? But now that one's working and that one's not working. Which one's got the... Let's just place this. I can't... It's hard to tell what's what. Oh no. What? Oh, it's snapped wrong. That's the beam there. That's why. It's snapped wrong. A bit confused there. There's a good explanation for it. Let's try them. Yeah, I'd snapped it like that, but it should have been like that. So now, so this one wasn't placeable. This one is placeable because it's offset by a half because of that half pillar. So we can build it from that side instead. And I will probably leave that in place because I think I need that there anyway. I'll look at this. Yeah, I've got it on the other piece on this one, but yeah, we'll need that at some point. So we'll leave that in position. So that on there. So to start the necessary food discussion, have you ever had Tim Tams? No? What's Tim Tams? You're always on the ball, you are, Rebel. You never miss anything. Would it be possible to build this using an internal frame scaffold that the panels attached to rather than the outer scaffold? I tried to do internal and it got super messy. But it's possible, yeah. Yeah, you could do it. I just didn't manage to. With more time, with messing around with it a bit longer, I reckon it could be done. It's just if you imagine all these structures like inside colliding with each other, it gets quite confusing. I lost my patience with that. Tim Tams are great, almost like penguin chocolate. I've never seen them. I heard every Australian rave about constantly how amazing they are, and every country should have them. Got some this week, and I've never seen those. Literally just penguins. What in the spider? Yeah, you need all that scaffolding for it to work as a template. You bit the edges off each side and use them as an awkward straw for your coffee. Right, so now we've got to this part. What we want to do is let's replace that with a thatch one because that'll be removed at the end. This one can stay metal because that's going to be metal. And I suppose I'll demonstrate what happens if we try and copy this different third of it now. So if I get, let's get a wall, a quarter wall on there, and we go select all that, and we will set that as the snap override, and then we'll remove these ones because they're already done, the whole thing, and we'll remove these ones because they don't need copying, they're already done, and remove that, and remove these because they're only for this top bit, which is done. Right, we'll save that as third fail, and third as in a third of the structure. That is right, that snap to there. I'm gonna have to get down low though because, well, I'll show you what happens. We get that message out of placement range, and that's because it's because I've got foundational structures, which is this pillar here. That's like the center point. If you look at where the crosshair is, it's next to that pillar. So I need to be close to that pillar. So get down low down here and then place that, then it allows me to. Right, and we will turn on auto build and let's see what it does. Nothing. I was expecting it to do a little bit more than that. I was expecting it to do this one, but that's because that's not actually touching the ground. We might have to do this again, otherwise it's not going to be a very good demonstration. Let's place, oops, I meant to do a metal one. So that on there. I'm going to have to make this again. Templates are really something else. Well, for the NE, it's just an easy way to build structures from YT faster. What is NE and what is YT? It placed that structure up there at least. That's something. Right. Select that. Snap override. Remove those. Want it placed. That as well. Can I demo that in? Well, let me remove that now because it doesn't exist to remove. Oh well. Remove those. And remove those. Fail. Try this again. So that on there. And auto build, and let's see what happens. It's not going to work with that either. I'm going to have to do it again. It's just at an awkward height is that it doesn't want to place it. But if I place it here instead. Let's just put a thatch pillar there. I reckon that might work. YT equals YouTube. Just the easy way to build structures from YouTube faster. Oh, well, for me, it's just the easy way to build structures from YouTube faster. I'm still none the wiser. What does build structures from YouTube faster mean? Oh, you mean like it's I get you. Instead of following tutorials, it's an easy way for you to build structures. I'm with you now. Right, let's try this again for the third time. You know what, I might get rid of these for now, just so I don't have to keep deselecting them. That's getting quite annoying. And might as well get rid of this one for now. Put it back when I need to. Select that. Make that the snap override. Remove those. Remove that. Destroy that. Remove those. Save that. And try again. That there. Auto build. Right, that's what I expected to happen. So, it's placed this because this has a connection to the ground. But then all these other ones, it can't place them because this doesn't actually snap to this. It's connected to it because the snap points are like in the same place, where it's not actually snappable. That snap point doesn't exist. So it can't place these. So that's where all this scaffolding comes in. We need to get all these different angles of scaffolding set up. So, you'd think that was quite an easy thing to do, but it's not. Let me see what I did for this first bit. So, you would think that you can just do something like this. Come on. That's the one. Like this, so that's foundation. And you'd think that that would work. Let's give it a go. Let's just select this whole thing. And yeah, we'll just save this as test. And place it over here. Right, auto build. But it's got stuck here. And this is a problem I was running into on the last stream and I didn't know why. But I've since realised why. Because we built it in reverse order, we built it from the top down. It doesn't, that snap point doesn't exist on that pillar snap point doesn't exist from this beam going this direction. It exists if you build in the beam from the pillar, but if you build in the pillar from the beam, it doesn't exist. It looks like it exists, but it doesn't, and that's because the pillar would be a different orientation. So I don't know if we can like see this. Is there any details we can look at on this to be able to tell? So you see, like where I'm looking at now in the center here, there's this little bump on the thing. Keep an eye on that, and we'll pick that up and then replace that. And notice now that that's a different texture. That's because this pillar is a different way around. And what will also happen is, let me just figure out, let's connect, give this some support. Go like that. That's foundation. Hopefully that'll hold that up, and then we'll do the same on this side. Just a little bit of temporary support for these. What did I do? That way, then that way, then that. That's foundation. Might need some support more this way, actually. Looking at that. Let's just get some foundation support like this going this way. Right. That should be okay. Just a bit of temporary support there, so that I can get rid of this to just demonstrate something. So now that I've built this direction from this pillar from the bottom up where it was going wrong, if I now try to snap a triangle from this, what you'll notice is that it's not the right way around, because that pillar's had to be rotated a different way around for it to be placeable. These triangles are also trying to place the same way as the pillar. So the solution I came up with for this was to put a little beam going that way. The reason why I'm using a chunky one is because it's going to be easier to pick that up. The thin beams get a little bit lost in the structures. They're hard to grab, so chunky one, easy to grab hold of. So now that should work, because they are all, that's all built from the bottom up now. Watching tutorials is still fun. Hello, Marleth. The dome took 4 templates, each being placed 48 times. My dear. Good luck with that support nightmare, getting all ends to the same height. Ground range is a pain. Yeah, it is a pain. That's the biggest problem. I'm hoping that they do an update with the templates to show what's actually placeable. But as like a workaround for now, I think what you can do is like position it and then go around checking all the foundations instead of doing the auto build. Like check all the pillars are placeable before you go for it. We'll get onto that at the end of the stream. A small wall between the beam and the pillar if you want to force it into existence. Or glue a small wall into the beam and the pillar. Between the beam and the pillar if you want to force it into existence. Oh, you mean here on this corner? Like there, you mean? Like that? So that you can have the pillar the other way around. Does that make the pillar go the other way around? That could be another solution, yeah. Good suggestion if that works, yeah. Let's see which way around that pillar goes then, if it's going on there. If that pillar's snapping to that, that's a different way around though. Might have to play around with that, I'm not sure what's what with that, but yeah, that could be potentially another solution. Getting the foundation to the right height is an absolute pain. It certainly is. Crazy Wolf, thank you very much. Awesome work around. I have to go to bed, but I'll finish watching your stream sometime. Take care, everyone. Thanks very much, Crazy Wolf, and I hope you have a good night. It was to skip the turns and the build order as long as you have support and it connected by walls and ceilings. It will just build. Pure pillars are weird. I think it would still... Wouldn't it still matter though? You still can't have pillars any direction on the walls though, can you? Or can you? Might have to do some testing with that. I think the pillar direction would still matter. But I was doing some unnecessary steps there just for the sake of demonstration. Right. Next bit. These squares. So they're at a bit of an awkward angle. Oops, wrong button. So I'll just start with these half pillars because I like to kind of get away from the structures a little bit. Have a bit of space to work with. So yeah, these are kind of an awkward angle. So if you try to build from these, it's like going off in a weird direction, which I didn't really like. So to kind of improve that situation a little bit, I used triangles like this. And is that what I did? I did half beam and then pillar. Like that. But we're going to run into the same problem again, where because we've built from the top down, it's not going to like that how it's been built. So I'm just trying to think. Yeah, this is one of those situations where, so that trick wouldn't work in this situation that Henry was just mentioning, because that, yeah, definitely wouldn't work in this situation because that's at a different angle to that. But we could potentially put it there. So what's going to happen is, well, for a start, it's not going to like this triangle because the triangle is going to be the wrong way around. It'll place the beam and then it'll get to the triangle and it'll see that that's a different way around to what it wants to place. So if you notice what the underneath of that looks like, so it's got like this bit running through the middle of it, this bamboo thing running through the middle that way. If I replace that, you'll see it's different. It's running that way. So it would have failed if I tried to place it. If I tried to do it with a template going that way, it would have failed because it would have seen that it's the wrong way around. So it will also fail to place this pillar because that pillar isn't snapped to that. And so what we need is a beam here. And I think that might be the wrong way around. It's better to just like get rid of this stuff and rebuild it from the bottom up, I find. That's like the easiest way to do it. Right, that's all connected up there, so I can actually pick that up and just replace that. It's just better to build it this direction, and then you know that everything is placeable. If you redo it this way round, so place that, and then while looking at that, like I don't want to place it while looking at this beam because then it might snap a different way around. If I do it while looking at this pillar in the middle, then it's going to snap to that pillar and it's going to be the right orientation. So now this, because I've built all this from the bottom up the second time round, that should all place now correctly. Bit of a messing around to get this set up, but be worth it in the end to have a fully placeable template. Could this be the epic return of the Fat Dog streams? It could be, yeah. You'll get my deepest respect if you end up supporting it all with perfectly turned pillars using some walls and ceilings between your build and the support pillars. Just makes life easier. Well, this is what I've done it here. This is what we're going for. Using some walls and ceilings between your build and the support pillar. It depends on the situation though, like I don't think it would be the answer for me in all these situations. I can do some testing, but I think it's still going to be dependent on the pillar direction. I think just having a wall on the corner isn't always going to allow the pillar to place, because the pillar could still be rotated 90 degrees or whatever and not want to place there. It might be okay for squares because then it might not matter so much, but in the case of these hexagons, if it's rotated like 90 degrees, it means the hexagons are all the wrong way around and stuff, so you've got to have everything like built from the bottom up. It's not a solve all, but we need all the options we can get in that building. Certainly do, yeah. I will have to play around with that though in my spare time. I didn't think of that one, so thanks for the tip. But yeah, from what testing I did, I found that the easiest way was to just place these going down and then replace bits of it going back up again. Bit fiddly, but it is what it is. At least you know the job's done right then. So that on there, and then half beam on there, and then pillar there, and then we'll pick these back up. Oh, where did that go? It must have not had foundation support, must not have been low enough into the ground. That on there, half on there, and then pillar there. Is that, yeah, that's not a foundation. But for now, I'll just place another one there, and then I'll probably, once I've done all these supports, I'll probably replace this, but slightly lower. Yeah. Well, there's no point really, because it's going to be the same as this one. I can just use this one. So, that's now got foundation support, which means I can pick that up, pick that up, pick that up, and then replace those the right way around. So that goes on there. That goes on there. We want that snapped to that beam. And that snapped to that. So that's those ones done. Right, what are we doing with these next ones then? So half pillar and then beams with a half beam at the bottom and then pillar. Pillar on there, and I don't think we need to fiddle. No, we do. We need to change these. Yeah. So, yeah, because these are the wrong way round. Yeah, we need this rotating. Let me see. Can I get something that will help here? Don't think I can. Or can I? Maybe I can. What if I go like that, and then like that, and then... Does that not snap to that? No, it doesn't. Hang on. What about... that? Does it snap to that? No. Beams are a bit weird. They don't snap to things you would expect them to snap to. Right, let's get a ceiling. And place that from there, that from there, then a half, and then a pillar there, which is not a foundation. So we'll put another one, which is a foundation. I think that's right. Or is it? No, that's not the right angle, is it? It's supposed to be that angle. Oh, right, let me do that again then. Get rid of that. So that definitely wasn't snapping at the correct angle, was it? No, it wasn't. It's got that one, but I need it to be rotated 90 degrees basically, don't I? Or not 90 degrees, but 60 degrees, whatever it is. But if I get triangle there, that's all I needed. I just needed that to go there, and then that there. That's a foundation. And then we're going to have to rebuild this stuff. Pick that up, can't I? Yeah. So pick this up. And we'll redo this. So that on there. And then pillar, half pillar on there. And that should hopefully give me, yeah, this, which is similar to what I had before, but these are actually rotated. So before, like, the ceiling was coming out from this point, so it was like, if you look at the shape on the triangle, it's pointing that direction. So from there going towards the centre, whereas now it's a different way around. It's like from this pointing towards the centre, it's rotated 60 degrees. That's got foundation support, yeah. So that's what I needed to do. I'll do the same on this one then. So that goes like that. I've gone past it. Beam. Beam. And half beam. And pillar. That's not a foundation. Because the ground's a bit lower there. Yeah. Just do an extra one there for now. Because when I did this originally, it was slightly lower to the ground. And a bit too high this time. Not to worry. So, pick that up. Pick that up. And pick those up. And then redo that pillar and redo those like that. And then continue. Or do we not want to go through all this? I'm basically just copying all this that I've already done. Just thinking, is there anything more to learn from doing this? Not really, it's just more of the same, really. Like, just everything I've just demonstrated already. Like, placing things down from it and then demoing them and replacing them going back up again. So I'm wondering whether to even bother doing all this. Like I've already got it here that we could work with, continue with that. I don't know. What we're thinking. Should we just skip to this part? It's kind of a bit boring just placing those. Time consuming. Don't think there's anything else I need to demonstrate on that. No. No, it's just more fiddling around with them. Should we skip that part? Nobody's saying anything. Have you all gone to sleep? Everyone's gone to sleep now. I bored you to death. Only a little bit. It's kind of getting late as well. I should probably just skip to this part since no one's... Skip it. Right, we're skipping it. Rebel has spoken. So yeah, you keep doing that. And it ends up like this. I'll give you a good view of this. In fact, let's just go into photo mode. We'll get a good look at this just in case anyone wants to copy what I've done at any point. I might make these templates available in case anyone wants to mess with this stuff. But what I'm looking for, I don't know what I'm looking for. So if anyone, I'll just give a little tour of what's here in case anyone wants to rebuild this for whatever reason. This is how I managed to set the scaffolding up. You don't have to do it like this exactly, but this is what I found kind of works. It could be improved. Take charge. It's very interesting. Wait, none of this is boring. Yeah, I got this camera to spin to work. It just needed to not be in slow-mo, that's all. You know what's annoying though? As you're spinning, you get further and further away for some reason. I remembered what I was going to do. I was going to change the weather. Enough rain. Yeah. That's that anyway. So now, let's pretend that I've placed all those. We've ended up with this. Now we're ready to copy this third around to this part. So I think I'd like to leave. In fact, you know what we'll do? Let's make a template of this. We'll call that first third because it's got extra bits on it. And we'll go over here and we'll demo this. And we'll place this something like what we had it so we can pretend that we've done it all. I think that's good position. Auto build. Hopefully this works. Ooh, yay. Right, we can pretend now that we've built all that. So we've placed all our scaffolding. So now it's time to copy a third of that round. So what we'll do is we'll make a template like what we were trying to do before, but it didn't work before because we didn't have any of the scaffolding, but now we do. So let's remove these bits. It shouldn't have that on there actually. And remove these. And this middle part. And let's save that as third. And then we've got to get down low so that we don't get the error message thing. Place that. That's all looking okay. This part was a bit fiddly here because of the way that it is. It's kind of awkward, this part. Like just the angle that they're at, they had to cross over. I think there's potentially another way I could have done it. I thought of after. I could have had it going. Which way was it now? Is it like that way? So I could have had the pillars coming further this way and then gone down into the ground here. But I didn't think of that at the time, and then I couldn't be bothered changing it. So anyway, it works. I fiddled around with it and I managed to get... Sometimes these pillars won't place if they're like colliding, but I got them in just the right place that they would go through each other. So let's give that a go. Ooh, yay, it's worked. And then one more. This is the fun part now. A bit nerve-wracking though that it's not going to work, but it's also fun. So that there. And hopefully... one little bit hasn't worked. In fact, I don't want to complete that one. Look at this. That must be just a bit too deep into the ground or something there, but it's not actually too much of a problem because it's just that one. We can just place that manually from... No, we can't because we don't have that yet. We can't place it from that, can we? We don't have that angle to do that. So what we're going to have to do is fix it with our angle thing. So that on there. That on there. So if I make this whole thing a template, I'll probably provide this with it just in case you need to do any little repairs like what I've just done. So that can go on there like that. And Yeah, that's the whole thing. So now what we should be able to, I'll do it from this one because that one's missing that little pillar thing there now. This one's got all the parts on it already, so now we should be able to make a template of the whole thing. And I don't think I've actually tried this yet, but in theory, we can save this as truncated. What's it called? Truncated isosceles. Just copy and pasted that. I don't know how to spell it. Hey, Krabby. I thought you didn't like football. I don't. This is not a football, Krabby. Right. Save that. And then we've got this whole thing, which we should be able to place on some nice flat ground. This looks quite flat here. And we want to get like a good height, so I think that should be a decent height for it. But what we can do is we can check these. So if you didn't want to like risk going for it before you've done it, what they need to do is make structures appear red if they're not placeable. I know that's what GG Fizz wanted, because he does like the QA thing for Wildcard. That's what he wanted, but they didn't get it done. So I don't know if that's coming in the future or what, but hopefully it is. But what you can do for now, until they add that feature, if they add that feature, is you can go around checking that all the pillars are placeable. Like this. But since I'm in creative mode, it doesn't really matter because I can just do it, try again. If it fails, we'll just go for it and see what happens. Hang on, wrong button. Auto build. Run out of range. There we go. It all worked. And then you just have to get rid of the thingies, the thatch, which we could, maybe we could do this. It's decided to go for that one instead. What about, hang on. Which one is it? This one over here. Eat the thatch. Someone needs to clip that. Voice of an angel. There's probably easier ways to do this, but there's not any more fun ways to do this. We need them to get these bits over here. I'm a bit stuck though. Knock the ghost out of them. Right, I think that'll do. They've done most of the work for me. Right, couple of little bits to clear up, but that saved me a bit of time. Oh no, there's actually quite a lot of bits to clear up. It still helped. Can you build this on a Quetz platform? Easy. No problem. Builds in real time, suppose that helps it not be stupid OP in PvP. Yeah, it's good for PvP, in that way. I wish when you're in creative mode it'd do it faster though. Or if there was some kind of setting somewhere. Like a server setting. Right, I think that's about it, isn't it? Oh, two more. Oh, why is it not? Why have the giggers not bothered with these ones? Is that all of them? No. Keep finding more. Right, I think that's it. So there we go. That was built entirely from a template, and it only took a few minutes to get rid of the thatch. Maybe there's a quicker way to get rid of the thatch that I've not thought about. That's one way to do it. Does the building templates, are they account wide or so they're just for your account, but like you can share them. So you can, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can either export and then share that bit of code with someone else, or you can actually share them in game. So I go like that and then look at this. Why is it not giving me the option? Do I need to, oh, so I need to do it without that in my hand. So if I look at this and I go save template to item, I've now got this that I can give to someone in game. So that's another way you can share them. So yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, job done. Yeah, that's all there is to know about it, I think. So I may provide these templates, but I don't know. I might make it a members thing. I don't know. I've not decided. Because I've not decided if I want to make a video of this as well. I'm not sure. But I'll have a think about that anyway. But if I don't end up providing you with it, you've got everything you need. You want to build it yourselves now, demonstrate it all. And that's it for today, I think. Have you checked out the ancient high-tech structure skins? No, I've not, no. What are they all about? So if I create template on extinction, then go to Avion a different, and they will be there. Yes, they will. Rating for building templates. See you later, Kravi. Yeah, that's it for today then. So, anybody got any last questions? Anything I didn't explain properly? If not, we'll call it a night. How long have you even been streaming? What time do I start? 9. So yeah, I've done that in 2 hours then, so that's not bad going. All I did skip a little bit when I didn't set up all these, but I was also talking and demonstrating a lot, so I reckon you could make this in 2 hours if you're going for it. Thank you, Rebel, for sticking around and watching. Right. Yeah, that's it then. Nobody's got any questions. I will catch you in the next one, whatever that may be. I don't know what I'm going to stream next time. But I'll think of something. Maybe I should probably get working on traps again. But it depends if I feel like doing more of this type of creative building. Don't know. Depends on what I fancy doing. You have a good one, Captain. I only caught the end, but love it. Thank you. See you on the next one. Right, bye everyone then. Bye. Thanks for watching.